thank you for joining the All Naturale podcast. One of the many reasons why I created this podcast is for inspiring women to have a voice and to share their stories. And this is the case of my next guests. They are two incredible girls who are just killing it in the direct sales space. They are both directors of the Monat company and are here to tell us about their story. And we'll be talking about many topics, tips and tricks that they learn along the way that will for sure interest you if you're thinking about creating a side business for yourself. I'm sure you'll enjoy this one. Let me introduce you to Chloe.
Hi, I'm Chloe.
Hi, Chloe. And Taylor.
Hello.
And they're both directors of our company. So Taylor came all the way from New York, actually, to be here with us today. And Chloe lives in the beautiful, sunny
West Coast of Florida.
New York is beautiful too.
It's cold. It is pretty cold, but it's really nice. So welcome, girls. I'm gonna ask you a few questions because I'm pretty sure our audience is very interested in knowing what being in Monat really entitles you to. So tell us a little bit about your backgrounds and what got you started.
So I have a background in massage therapy and aesthetics. I started that when I was pretty young, and after about 6 years in that industry, I realized that it wasn't something that I wanted to do forever. I had no idea how I was going to get out of that industry because it is what I went to school for. I didn't have any other talents. But when this opportunity came across it was actually my phone screen, I jumped on it. I started not really knowing my for sure end all be all direction, but I saw an opportunity to maybe take over some of my time, get a little extra money, and I was curious. So I got started without a super strong end goal in mind.
And you, Taylor?
Well, I'm a hairstylist by trade. I started pretty young too when I was 15, and I love doing hair so much. However, it wasn't really meeting my goals financially. And so I had always wanted an opportunity where I could be in control of my time. And so when I found this, I kind of jumped right in because it seemed like it checked all my boxes for me. So similar to Chloe, I didn't really have a super big goal in mind. I just saw the vision of what this could be and was willing to just work at it and see what it could become.
That's great. So what challenges have you faced since the beginning and then along the way?
So one of my biggest challenges in the beginning was fear of nobody wanting to buy from me. Who was I to train anybody in this type of business? I was a little nervous when I was getting started, just not thinking people were going to be jumping into my boat, so to speak. Along the way, one of my biggest challenges was slow times. I did not expect it, and so when there would be periods of time where I felt like I was showing up for my business, but I wasn't signing new customers up or signing new market partners up, I found that very discouraging. That was one of the hardest things that I had to overcome and learn, was that there's ebbs and flows in the business, but that the slow times always end up paying off in the future.
That's actually really good because that happens to me when there's moments that I feel that it's like, why am I doing this? And then when you keep on going, you realize like, oh wow, I'm ripping off of the benefits for, just waiting and see, and just being present for your business.
Right.
It's like any other business. Like I think Taylor told me once, your business is kind of like your Instagram or your like social media. That's your storefront. You're open for business, then, you're going to have clients passing by. Not everybody's going to buy from you, but, you're going to have interest.
They see you.
And they see you. So for you, what do you think it was your biggest?
So social media was like my biggest challenge I had to overcome because I had one, but I was like, I posted maybe 3 times a year at my wedding, other people's weddings. Like I didn't like use it. I had never used stories in my life. So when I started this, I knew social media would be a great way because I saw Chloe doing it and other people, and I was like, okay, this is how you do it. I want to make the most of it, so I'm going to do it. But it like got a pit in my stomach, and like I was just so nervous about it. But I just decided I was going to do it. So it got easier as time went on, and now it's just something natural. I still don't like love social media, but I love the job and like what it does for me and the people that it helps. And social media is the way to get there. And then along the way, I would say consistency and learning to act without motivation, because it is a job, it's a fun job, but not all parts of every job are going to be like a high all the time, but you just have to learn, to do the job, and eventually things are gonna, pay off.
And you girls are great examples of that. I mean, how much it has paid off for you. That's super relatable. what you're saying, because I think you're not born with this to be showing your face and oh my goodness, this is my dream. Yeah, I've always wanted to do this. But it just becomes, like you say, a part of consistency and routine, and how everything just flows at the end. It's just all part of the process. So that's good that you bring that up. So how many people have you helped in your team, and how have you helped them?
So I have helped over 8,000 people in some way with either their business or their journey into their self-care products, changing them and feeling more confident about themselves. Some specific examples come to mind. One is Taylor. I'll let her tell her own story. But a couple of the other girls that really come to mind for me is one of my best friends, actually. She and her husband are really hard workers. They both always had a couple jobs, but they didn't have any type of savings whatsoever. As a couple in their mid to late 20s, that's something that most of us want to have to fall back on, right? A few months of expenses in the bank just in case.
Just in case.
And she actually told me she didn't want to work on it with me for 6 months. I eventually got through with consistency because I knew it could help her. And it made me so happy when she told me that they were finally able to build a savings. And not just a small savings, but one that's quite substantial. And now she's stepping away from doing hairstyling to focus more on her Monat business because she saw the lucrative opportunity as well as the freedom that it allowed her. And so that's one of my favorite stories of somebody that I've helped. Another favorite would be a friend of mine who has 2 little ones, and she was able to quit her 9-to-5 job to be able to stay home with her kids. That makes me really happy. I'm not a mom myself, but from the moms I've talked to like you, that means a lot.
No, that's pretty big. Like just the time freedom that it provides. And I feel that that's the cool part. Like we're that bridge to help women like feel empowered in a sense that you can do it too.
Right.
It's not unattainable.
Right.
We're regular people. You are, like we come from like
regular.
Like we're, like everybody comes from like such a normal background, and they're able to achieve so much at such a young age. What do you think?
So for me, I've helped quite a few thousand as well. I love helping people with their hair. That is a passion. I went to school for hair, but now I'm doing it in like a different way. So I love when people are able to see results with their hair. Then also business wise, I love when I get the texts of like, oh, I was able to, pay off my credit card, or like pay for groceries this week, or like pay my, car payment. Those are all great. I have one girl in mind. She had done network marketing before and didn't do very well. It was like difficult for her.
Right.
But she wanted to try again, and she wanted to try with money. And this time she had just had a baby, and she was going to have to go back to work soon. And she had gone through years of fertility treatments to try to have this baby. And so it was like heartbreaking for her to have to go back to work. But within under a year of working money, she was able to finally like quit her job and like stay home with her kid, which was like always her goal.
Wow.
And doing different network marketing companies, like staying home, having a kid one day, and then being able to stay home with that kid was like her number one goal. And she was like finally able to achieve that. So when she finally got to that point and sent me that text, we were like so happy, because it's just like always what she like dreamed of doing, and then finally got that. So that's like my big one that stands out to me. And then of course, just anything anyone's able to achieve, like big or small. Your goal can be anything. Paying car payment, paying off debt, whatever it is, like it's a huge achievement, for you to reach that.
No, I love that. And I love how many moms this has helped. I include myself, because when pandemic hit, with my husband, we're professional photographers, and that was literally our business, our income, everything. And then events were gone. And so by the time that was going on, this opportunity presented itself. And within 2 months, it was already paying for my mortgage. So that was like huge.
Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, shampoo is paying for my mortgage?
Right.
I would have never, ever guessed. So it's pretty big. It allows me to stay at home with my kids. Like you say, it has helped so many others. And that's just priceless. There you go.
Yeah. I would say even for me, like, so I don't have kids. Chloe doesn't have kids, but I don't know. I feel like we always just wanted to be in control of our own time and like do what we want to do. Like hated having to like go into work at a certain time. I remember being a teenager and you talking about all the time like crying on the way to work because like you getting so much. No, I remember doing that, and it's just like I would always be like Googling like work from home jobs. How can I work from home? But you always need like a bachelor's degree or like something, and like computers. I'm like, I don't do computers.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I gonna find? Like, what am I gonna do? And then like this comes in, and like just being able to control my days is like what I wanted.
It was huge for me to see that we could control our own income at this type of business, because the background that I came from in the spa scene, I was paid well. I was paid more than probably the average young 20-year-old, but it wasn't extra, significantly extra, you know? And it was great for the means in which I was living. But I wanted to be able to, if I'm going to spend the time working, I wanted to be able to control what I was making. Exactly. And so when I saw this opportunity and I saw, like Taylor said, the flexibility and the control that you got to have, but then that I could have control and flexibility while still deciding the level of income that I wanted, that blew my mind. I didn't have to go ask a boss for a 25-cent raise. I could do that, take it into control myself. And that was a huge thing for me when I decided to go all in on this business.
And I didn't have to ask for time off to come here to do this with you. I could just fly here.
You could just
and afford to fly here.
Exactly. That's big. That's huge. I remember that one of you girls said one time, and it really hit me, basically that like on a regular job, you get raises of like what, $1?
Maybe
a year.
My friend didn't get a raise for like 8 years, and she asked and she did not.
Oh my goodness!
My old job gave out raises by the quarter, like 25 cents.
25 cents. Wow. By the year, or
you had to ask. You could do it once a year. 25 cents.
Could I please?
Right?
Yeah, it's just so empowering to know that you have what it takes to make it happen for yourself. You don't have to go ask anybody.
Right.
Just ask yourself, am I willing? Am I able? Yes, you are.
Right.
Yeah. And you girls have proved that you are. So that's great. So why do you do what you do?
So when I started doing this job, it was 100% for myself. It was so that I could have some extra money to save for my wedding. Then I saw the possibility, and it became to replace my job at the spa. So still for myself. Eventually I got to a point where I got to replace my job at the spa. I got to quit that job. I worked Monat as my sole income, and I didn't really need more money, which I feel very fortunate to be able to say. But I decided to keep building and to keep passing on what I had learned, the knowledge that I had, and the skill that I had in this business onto other women. Because when I would get that text that was like, we've been able to pay down our debt this much, we paid off our debt, this covered my mortgage, this paid for my kids' gymnastics. It's addictive helping people once you get started. And so now I have what I need, but I don't work for myself anymore. I work to help other women build businesses to get the freedom and the lifestyle that they've been craving and that they're worthy of.
That's amazing. It's pretty big.
So same, but when I started, it was, kind of for selfish reasons. So at the time, my husband had lost his job, and so it was just my income. We had just moved into a new apartment, and so it was like, oh crap, like what are we gonna do?
What do we do?
Then I found this, and I was like, this will be great because this is like a good plan B. If anything like this ever happens again, it's going to really help like fill in the blanks. So I just started doing it, chipping away at debt, and then eventually I was like, oh, this is working out really, really well. Like I'm gonna keep doing this. Like even though we, he has a new job, like we paid off our debt, I'm going to keep doing it because why not? It's helping.
Why not? Right.
I never had the goal of quitting my job because I love doing hair. But as it kept going, I was like, I'm enjoying this more than that. I get to be in control of my time here more than there. Eventually, I decided to quit my job. And then same as Chloe, the people that joined me in this, like things were happening for them too. And eventually I was like, why isn't everybody doing this?
Exactly.
Why isn't everybody like taking advantage of this? Like it's easy work. It's like difficult in some ways, but a lot of it is very like simple stuff. And I'm like, why isn't anyone doing this? So just the more girls that joined and the more that they were able to achieve things for themselves, I was like, I need to let everybody know that this is available for them. Like everybody can do this and they should be doing this. And so that's why I keep.
That's amazing. Yeah. And like you say, it's when I started going to your trainings, that really got me when you said this is not easy work, but it's simple.
Yeah.
Because you have to work. if you want to be here and you want to be as successful as you guys have been, you have to put the work. So it's not easy in that sense, but it's simple because it has already been done for you.
Right.
You just have to mimic the wheel.
Right. Just like follow the pattern.
Yeah. So why do you think Monat works?
So I think Monat works for a few reasons. One, it differs from other direct sales companies in that it's a product that everybody uses and it's a consumable product. So you don't have to sell somebody on the fact that they need a shampoo or skincare or body wash, because every person on the planet is already buying those things.
Yeah.
And then once you have a customer, the product's consumable. So they're going to finish it and need to reorder. So those are a couple things that make building a business in Monat specifically a little different from other companies.
Yeah, and to add to that, I would say the quality of the product, I feel, is unmatched. Like using so much stuff in the industry.
And
this is my favorite, obviously. This is like, I didn't start the business to then sell the product. Like, I love the product so much and I decided it was worthy of sharing with other people.
Exactly.
So that's why I think it just steps above other things. And especially with the way the company runs, it's set up to help you succeed. I feel like sometimes a lot of other companies, there's like little things in there which make it a little bit more difficult, but truly, like, this is set up to help people succeed, and it's clear once you look at the compensation plan and everything. Like,
Another thing that's different from other products in the direct sales scene is that our product, the proof is in the pictures.
Yes.
So there's literally no convincing that needs to be done. And honestly, on the note of educating, it's important, but the pictures show that the products perform.
insert pictures of our hair.
Yeah.
Before.
I'd love for you to see our before pictures because they're really, really bad.
Yeah.
So that makes sharing the product with others really easy. Even if you feel like you're naturally like kind of shy or kind of awkward, like I wasn't as out of my shell when I started as I am now. It was really simple because you would share before and afters, and people want the product. They see themselves in the before picture, they're like, oh, that's embarrassing. And they want the after. And so it makes sharing the product really easy.
Yeah.
And I think it's something like you say you're not really like into your hair or doing your hair, but you don't need to be into doing your hair to be able to wash your hair and stuff. Like,
Exactly.
It's made to be super simple. Like, it's made to make your hair better so that you don't actually have to like do a whole bunch of stuff to make your hair look better.
Yeah, no, and it has actually made it better. My hair has always been good, but using the products, I see like potential like is the limit, you know? It's like fluffed all the way.
Yeah.
The volume is unmatched in ULA.
The volume line. Insert pictured. Okay, so what would you say is the best part about this business in particular?
Having 100% control of my time every day. If I don't feel good, I can sleep in. If I want to change the time I'm going to work out, I can change the time I'm going to work out. And honestly, the ability to be able to work out when I want. At my old job, I couldn't do that. I skipped a lot of workouts. I did not feel good about myself because I was always controlled by work.
Right. The best part for me is time as well, because I mean, recently I was sick every day of the month of December. Ooh. I feel like 3 weeks out of December, I was sick. And before that, I would have to take, especially now, I would have to take all those days off of work, no pay, nothing. My husband was sick too.
Wow.
So he would have had to take so much time off of work. So the amount of stress that would have caused had I not had this job would have been like so overwhelming. But the fact that I do have this job and I was able just to take the time off and still work because I work on my phone.
Exactly.
So like I could still do whatever I had to do.
Exactly.
And my husband can take off work, but like it's still fine. Like I think just the peace of mind and just like knowing everything is going to be okay. I think that's the most thing I love about
you
this
have the
job,
control.
too. Yeah, the control.
Yeah.
One thing I love about this business in particular is that we don't have any requirements.
Yeah.
So to that note, no monthly order requirements. I never have to spend money. There is literally no overhead. You guys know.
Yeah.
We have no overhead costs. There's no sales quotas. So to what Taylor was saying, if I'm feeling sick, if there's family obligations that need to be taken care of, or if I'm just on vacation, I don't have anything I need to meet or else I'm busted. And I love that about our company in particular.
Right. And they care so much about us as market partners in the sense that, like you mentioned before, the compensation plan is completely tailored for us to win. It's not the other way around, like, oh, you have to sell in order to get paid. I've heard that about other companies. So that's not fair for you because you're doing the work, right? So I love that about Monat and how they care about their market partners and how they're always giving us like extra incentive, like trips. Right? You love traveling. How many trips have you guys?
Oh my God.
So many.
Oh, earned?
The trips are overwhelming, the amount of incentive trips that we have.
It's crazy, right?
Vegas trips so far.
I don't know, 6 trips?
I've earned, like she said, we go to Vegas every year. So the Vegas trip for however many years we've been with Monat. And then the Dominican Republic, we earned twice. The first time the pandemic came, and so we couldn't go, but they gave us money.
Oh, yes.
So they gave us a really nice bonus on our check for missing that trip. We earned it a second time last fall. I've earned a few trips to California. I have one to Cancun next month, and I'm currently working for a trip to Dubai in spring.
Which I know you'll get. I know it. And it's not unattainable. That's the cool part. You see so many of market partners going that it's like, man, so many people are able to reach for like the little compensations, which are huge, or you know, like amazing compensations. That's separate from our compensation plan as, you know, getting paid. They're not taking
trips are just bonuses.
They're bonuses, right? It's like, hey, there you go.
We get paid 10 ways, and trips is not one of them.
Exactly.
It's just an extra.
It's an extra bonus. And the way we get paid is so interesting because they're always doing, aside from your commissions, aside from your bonuses, which those are amazing. Aside from the 5 paychecks we get every month, we also get like random incentives. Like last month, it was like double up your bonuses and you'll get paid double for nothing, for no reason. So it's like, okay.
It's very generous. Sometimes we talk and we're like, I honestly don't know how Monat makes it.
Exactly. And with all the sales that they do too, all the sales, it's like our customers never ever pay full price. If you're paying full price, it's like you physically tried to.
You try. Yes.
There's
Nobody will end up paying full price ever. So our customers are the happiest. I don't think I've ever had a customer returning anything or say, or even if it didn't work, they just, the customer service that we have, and we were talking about that earlier, is just so amazing how they accommodate anything for you. So that's pretty cool. You girls have not been doing this for that long either. So the amount of success we're talking is not like it has built throughout, you know, decades. How long did it take you to hit director, and what does it mean to hit director, like in terms of compensation?
Okay, so it took me 13 months to hit director. I was running hair on fire in the business. I was loving what I was doing. So I was showing up most days for my business. I have to put that disclaimer out there. You do have to show up for your job. But
I wouldn't say most days, I would say every day.
Except for I think maybe like 4 or 5 days. I was showing up for a whole year.
Maybe.
But I hit director then. But before hitting director, I was able to make a good amount of extra money within my first few months that I found really helpful in savings and buying a car, saving for my wedding, things like that. After 6 months, I was able to match my monthly income at the spa that I was working at.
6 months?
6 months.
Oh, wow.
I honestly, like, it feels crazy to say it even still, but 6 months. And that was November. Then in February, I started doubling what I was making at the spa. So about 9 months, doubling my spa income. So then we fast forward to the 13th month when I hit director. That was my first time ever in my life getting a check that was 5 figures in 1 month.
Wow.
Blew my mind. I honestly am a high school dropout that just went to technical school. And so that was really crazy. It's still really crazy to say it. I feel like I'm like flushing. Like weird about it. But yeah, like I said, I really ran with it. After a year and a half, I made a bonus check that was in the 30,000s range for 1 month in this business.
And that was a year and a half after joining.
Yes, and that being said, I didn't take a lot of days off. I did show up for my business a lot, but like we already talked about, it's simple work.
Right.
If you're consistent.
It doesn't take a lot to show up.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's literally like something I want to put out for everyone is that if you're willing to stick with it, when it's slow, when it's hard, when you feel like giving up, it always pays off. I had one period of time where it was 3 months that I didn't sign anyone up in the business. And if I had quit, I can't picture my life now. So sticking out those slow times really pays off.
Right. Yeah. And it's not like you need so many people, because I feel that people have the wrong perception of thinking, oh, she hit director, she must have, like 1,000 people under her, in the sense like working with you as a market partner.
No.
You don't need that to
Nowhere
reach
near that.
your
And I want to add to that too, because a lot of people do think you need to have a lot of people working under you to do this. But the great thing about money is that if people don't work, nothing happens. This is not just like a recruitment-based thing where you just sign people up and make money. You will make nothing if people don't work.
Exactly.
It has to be people that also have aspirations and goals and that want something out of us, that are doing the work that is going to get them there. It's not just like, a free-for-all, like let's just sign up and do nothing thing.
Exactly.
It does require like showing up, and the people that you sign up and join you also showing up to work.
Exactly. And also something that I really love is that your performance does not go next to your upline. You are my upline, for example.
Yeah.
I can surpass you anytime that I want, if I choose to do the work and go at it, and that's it. It's not like a competition between us.
Yeah, and me and Chloe's my upline, and we're very similar positions in the company right now, which would not happen.
We have a really similar income.
Exactly.
For me being her upline, her income's not like topped off by where I'm at. She can pass me. Right now we're about equal.
Yes.
And I think that's a really unique thing about our company.
Yeah, my story is very similar to Chloe's. I was able to quit my job in under a year. I think at that time when I quit my job, I was probably making $6,000 a month, which I probably could have quit my job before then, but I was just very nervous because it was just new.
Right.
Very new.
Right.
But at that point, that's when I decided to quit my job. And I had never, prior to this, I think the most I made in a year was probably like 22.
And then this year would have been like...
And like since then, it's like still mind blowing to me, like how much you're able to make with this company, with the amount of work that you do and everything.
And then again, it's shampoo. It's crazy. It's mind blowing to think that something so just like ordinary could get you, places.
Yeah.
Could give you the freedom that you have. Something I love about this business as well is the community. I love that, like we were discussing, we're not ever a competition. You want everybody to go with you. You want everybody to, go up the ladder with you. So that's pretty cool. I love that everybody's in there for everybody.
Yeah. Like we are friends because of this. I met Chloe through Instagram.
Yeah.
And then signed up underneath her. And we had some people in common, but I don't think I would have ever met you but now we're here. And it's fun. Exactly. I get to visit my friends in Florida all the time. So
now you're more than welcome.
I also hold your bird.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I love it.
To what you were saying quickly about people think to be successful you have to have like thousands of people under you.
No.
I hit director with like about 1,000 followers on Instagram. So nobody special there. But to hit the top rank in our company, which I'm not at this moment, you only need 8 people to be really dedicated to the business with you.
Right.
And so I think that really can attest to the fact that this isn't a recruitment, crazy recruitment forward type of business. If you have 8 people who really want to change their lives and the lives of those on their team, you can hit the top of the compensation.
Yeah, it's like a work forward.
Exactly.
That's with anything.
Yeah.
The work.
But it's unheard of in a direct sales company.
It is.
It is really unheard of.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So what can people really expect from your training sessions?
So our business is really designed to be worked in 7 to 10 hours, part-time. So what we really try to teach people is how to work efficiently in the time that they do have. So things you will learn from us is social media. That's one thing I struggled with. So we definitely help people on how to navigate that area. Good business practices. We train them on something we call income producing activities. So what is the best way to use your time to make the most impact in your business?
In addition to that, you're also going to leave our trainings feeling really motivated and really determined and disciplined. Taylor and I really teach a discipline over motivation type business approach. If you rely on motivation, then you're not always going to have it. But if you're disciplined and you know what you need to do every day, then you're going to get it done and you're going to be able to build a really sustainable business. So that's how we approach all our trainings. You mentioned our weekly training, which we have Monday nights, but we also have a lot of recorded training. Taylor touched on social media. There's some of that, some attraction marketing, training when it comes to closing sales, maybe even some verbiage hacks for talking to people if you're feeling a little awkward about it. We have those trainings recorded in a Facebook group that you get access to when you join your team, our team, obviously. And so that's another great thing that's available to people who are really busy. So you can watch it whenever you want. You can watch it in fragments and even rewind so you can make sure you're taking plenty of notes.
Yeah. Some other training that's provided by the company too is they have a lot of training on their account as well. So you can access those anytime you want as far as compensation plan, even training from the owners of the company, training from other directors not on our team that they can access anytime they want. So there's a lot of
product there too.
Product education.
Which is very important, right?
Yes, there's so much product education. Honestly, I learned way more about product since starting Monat than I have in my life. They do so well at educating all of us.
That's great. And one thing I love about this team in particular is that you guys have those trainings in place every week. As opposed to probably other teams, I don't know if they do it or not, but they do have the option to go to, the recordings and all of it that you mentioned. But your trainings are very personalized, and I love that.
Thanks.
So thank you for that. Yeah. Why do you think people would want to go to our team as opposed to probably others' team?
Well, one, because we're awesome. Two, because I think people can really see how involved we are with our team. We are all so involved with every single person. Like you mentioned, training. There's so much available. You will not go with a question if you take advantage of the training. We do a lot of team events, team gatherings. Even if you're on my team or Chloe's team, you can still get together, or your team, everybody gets together to help and support each other. And that's something I feel that's very visible. Yes. Even on social media or from the outside, people can see how much we do together and help each other and support each other, and that draws them to us.
And we run a zero competition, zero negativity type team. So if you come to our meetings, you're never gonna feel down. We encourage everybody to do what they can for their own goals, because everybody's level of success is what they need. Right. It may not be the same for you or Taylor or me or whoever's watching. So you're gonna feel really motivated. You're not gonna feel like you're not doing enough, and you're never gonna feel like it's a competition.
Yeah, I love that about the team too, the team spirit. Do you have any inspiring stories that you could share with us, either personal or from someone from your team?
One story that really stands out to me is a mom on my team. She has a little boy who's now 4, but he was just 3 when she started the business. She was cleaning houses. And honestly, one of the most positive people I've ever met, had no problem with the type of job that she was working. She made enough money and she was happy to do it. But she always talks about how much it crushed her to leave her little boy, to have a babysitter, to miss out on his milestones. And so she jumped into Monat, feet first, no background in hair, no social media following, and she ran with it because she didn't want to leave anymore. And so when we got that text from her that she was able to quit all her cleaning clients to stay home with that little boy, it was so special to us. And now we still see her. She lives in Oregon, but we keep up well. We see her on social, and she spends every day with him and has more than matched the income that she had with her self-owned business. And so that's one of the stories that really stands out to me as something inspiring, and that I feel like almost all moms would like to have.
Definitely.
Yeah. The story of a friend of mine I like, because I think it's a lot of people can see themselves in it. Maybe not the first part of the story, because she was married and then got divorced and was going through like a really, really hard time. And, you know, she had gone through just a lot of different jobs throughout her life. I think she said she had like 16 jobs, just different things, because she could never find something that was really working for her. But she went through that tough situation, was in a really depressed state. And started this business kind of like reluctantly, but it ended up really just helping her come out of her shell, like just get back on track, come out of her shell. And because we do a lot of self-development, personal development along with the business, it just really helped her just get on top of everything. She's doing super well in the business. She got remarried, she's having a baby. And we talk about how like she didn't have this, like she'd have to go back to work, you know, and having her new baby, and just things like that I feel are super relatable for everyone, even myself, who I've gone through just like a lot of jobs and just never really found anything that fit. And just being able to find something that you know you can stick with, that works with your life, that just works with like everything that you do, is just very relatable and inspiring to just average person, anybody that wants to do.
So what particular traits are you seeking for someone that joins your team?
Number one, coachable. If you're not coachable, then we can't help you. Some people come in with like specific things that they've already decided in their mind, things that they're good at or they're bad at or that they can and can't do. And really that makes it really difficult for us to be able to help them to be successful. So if you're coachable and you come to our team, we can definitely work with you and help you build your version of success. Number two is somebody who's willing to learn to be disciplined. Most people aren't just naturally super disciplined, but if, you know, right? If you're willing to learn and to try to be disciplined, that paired with being coachable, those are the two things that I look for.
Yeah, same exact things as that. Like willing to learn is kind of similar as willing to work, just putting the work in no matter what. Because you're not always going to have the days when it's super easy. You're not going to sign up the most customers or the most market partners all at one time. It takes consistently. You just have to be willing to put one foot in front of the other and just do the work. The second thing I would say is, have a little bit of grit, have a little bit of a backbone, because it is different. So you're going to have to learn to stand up for yourself, you know, answer the hard questions, just be prepared, you know, because things can get in the way in your life. People can say things, but, you know, have your conviction, like Chloe was saying, have a little bit of grit, have a little bit of stand up for yourself, and, you know, it'll work through it. It'll work out.
That's great. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think this business model could work for anyone?
So I'll say no, but yes. So yes, because like we were saying, it's simple. The work is very simple. You post on social media, you network, you share what you love about the products and the business, you help other people. However, kind of similar to what we were just saying about it is work, it's consistency. You have to be willing to learn, you have to be humble, have a little bit of grit. Not everybody wants to put the effort into it. So if you're not someone that doesn't want to put the work and the effort into it and stick for the long game, because this is a business, things don't just happen for you. That's not real life. You have to be willing to stick it out so you can see the progress, you can see the results.
Exactly.
If you are someone that's willing to do those things, stick it out, put the work in, then of course it's for you. You know?
Yeah, along the same lines, I say at least twice a week. The work always works. Yeah. What we teach, what we do, it works. We know it works. We are examples of it working. You're an example of it working. But there's a shocking amount of people who do not want to work, or like Taylor mentioned before, don't have a lot of grit. So when it gets slow, they quit instead of sticking it out. And so that, for people like that, for people who give up easy, it's not a great thing. But the work always works. So if you can have a strong mindset, and you're coachable, and disciplined, then we know it's a good thing.
Yeah. What keeps you going from, like you say, there's going to be times that it's going to be slow. You mentioned that it was like probably 3 months for you that you didn't sign up anybody. You're like, what am I doing? Did you have to change anything, or was it within yourself, or was something like, is there like a secret sauce that you could tell us that could work for, you know, just keep going?
Yeah, I think all of the above. We do a lot of personal development. We have a lot of books that we read. We do personal development calls every morning, a quick 30-minute hit. Those have really, really helped. if you feel more confident on the inside, then you're going to show that on the outside.
Right.
And the most confident person influences the less confident person in every conversation.
Right.
And so it's really simple. When you boil down that formula, if you're confident in this business, if you're confident in these products, then your business is going to explode.
Right.
So that's something that I had to learn. That was one of the things that got me through my slow period, my 3-month dry spell of no enrollments, was learning that I was doing passive work. I wasn't really showing up for my business. I was doing the bare minimum, and I wasn't super confident in what I was offering. So when I changed more so on the inside, my approach on the outside reflected that.
Exactly.
And that got me out of not.
Yeah, I would say any time where I felt like, I mean, there's slow times no matter what you're really doing.
Right.
But I feel like there's always something to adjust. Like you're never doing the most. Like you're never doing everything that you can.
Yeah.
So like Chloe was saying, you know, sometimes we're doing the passive work. We think we're doing so much, but we're not actually doing the important things that we need to be doing that are going to show results. So just kind of like always doing like a self-evaluation. Like, okay, I'm getting frustrated. Like, why am I getting frustrated? Like, this isn't working. Why is this not working? And trying to be creative about the solution instead of like giving up.
Exactly.
You only lose when you give up.
Exactly.
Like if you stick it out, it always gets better. And I remind myself of times when like, I was like, oh, I'm not getting VIPs or market partners. And then I stick it out and then things just happen. And it might be another slow period, but then things happen. That's just kind of how
things
it goes. And
Right.
if you can realize that like, you're always on like a steady incline. It may not be like straight up, but you're always on a steady incline. So like, don't freak out that it's not just like going straight to the top. Like have patience, you know, it's gonna get there. So just remembering it's not as bad as it seems in your head. Like it's really not that bad. Like just chill, it'll get better. Like make sure you're actually doing the work, not just like the busy work. Just do the actual work and it'll all work.
And I think like with everything, we're always like you say, in our heads. So for us, it looks like a big mountain, but it's actually like one step, one extra step.
Yeah.
So that's great. And to have the trainings, I don't know if you had the trainings or was it like you started training?
My upline and I are good friends now. When it started though, I just got an email and I kind of felt like I had to figure it out. She had trainings, but they were not in my time zone, so it was a really inconveniently late time for me. So the training was not so much there, and there wasn't much personal touch.
Right.
Whatsoever. So I feel like that almost taught me what I could have used then. I was resilient, and I've said it 100 times, like really ran with it. When I hit join now, I really ran with it. So it worked out okay for me.
Right.
And like I said, I know her great friends now. But she knows all these same things. It wasn't the type of training that we have now.
We have so much more training now. And that's why, me and Chloe were like, we just did it with like, we were just like, okay, what is she doing? Like, how can we do that too? Like, what is she doing? Okay, like, we should be doing that too. Like, we just saw, we just did whatever anyone else was doing that was successful. And that's kind of how we learned how to do things.
We always looked at the people that were doing better than us. No one who was like at our level.
Right.
Whoever was doing better than us, if she posted it, we posted it.
We figured it out, and now that we're here and we know, it's like, okay, like we can provide the training. Like we have the training on our Facebook, like step-by-step stuff. So it's all there and available. Do people need it to like run? No, because we didn't.
You guys are proof of that.
It's so good that it's there.
It's available. Yeah.
But it's not a crutch. You don't need it. Like you have everything you need to do. You just gotta.
Yeah. That's great that you mentioned that, because there's really no need for any of this if you really wanted to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right. You will make it happen. But it's so nice to have the help and the community and everything that comes with it.
Makes it a lot more fun.
You feel like you're going with someone.
Yeah.
So you don't feel alone throughout this whole process.
Yeah.
On your business, like there's so many.
Yeah. And because it's like a team effort. Everything really is a team effort. Right. So you want to feel part of that team. Like you get excited when you're able to help somebody else out, when they help you. Like you want it to feel like a team. So it's nice when everybody is involved in training and learning from each other and collaborating. And
what kind of benefits do you see in your life after starting your career?
So obviously time freedom, freedom to dictate my everyday, financial freedom increase. I can create my pay level. I just do the work to match what I want to see income-wise. My income now is like 3 to 4 times what it was at the spa. And then I felt like I had an open income. And I know that with time that will just continue to grow. But things aside from time and money would be like the things that those have allowed me to do. So when there comes family health problems, it's easy for me to be able to take time off, to jump on last minute flights without thinking twice about it, without getting that cleared from anyone else. We recently bought a house and we were able to redo the interior of it because my extra income allowed us to do that. And at 24, I feel like it's a pretty cool thing to have done. I drive a Cadillac that my company makes the monthly payments for. So those are just a couple things that I feel like this business has allowed me to do that I wouldn't have been able to do or experience with.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say so many benefits. Like obviously a pay increase is a huge benefit.
Yes.
But I think most importantly, being able to control my time and live the way I want to live, having the flexibility of just being able to work from wherever I want to work, travel the amount that I do. And then I really find joy from like helping my friends, because a lot of my friends have been able to do this with me and seeing all the things that they're able to accomplish. Like, I don't know, I think it is a benefit for me. I don't know, I'm happy for them. So it's all good. And then recently this past year, we were able to buy our first house, which is just something that would not have happened before this.
Right.
So all around, I think, and then also just like being more disciplined.
Yes.
Like I'm a huge procrastinator, but I've learned, like I think you have to learn, especially when you're doing your own thing and you work from home, like you have to adopt some different skills.
Right.
So it's just enabled me to like learn more skills, be a more disciplined person. And that's like just cool in itself as a person.
Like overall.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the Cadillac.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the perks that I really love about the company.
Yeah, that's what you want. I know. Yeah.
One step away of that one.
Uh-huh.
But tell me about it. Like, do you have to hit all the way up to get, perks like this? Or how awesome is this that we're like...
That's a great question.
Yeah.
No, in some companies, other direct sales companies, you may have to hit the top of the compensation plan. In money, you have to hit the middle rank in the compensation plan. So I was able to hit that in 6 months. I ran really fast.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that every single time because some people start and they don't want to work, and then they're like, why don't I have a Cadillac yet?
Right.
I ran with it, but it's very, very doable. If it's something that you want, if you keep like your eyes locked on your goal, then it's something that you can do quickly.
Exactly.
Middle rank of the comp plan. And then the way it works is they'll give you a down payment for the car and then a certain amount every month to pay for the car payment. It'll come on your bonus check.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I earned the car, I think 9 months into business, and I only had 600 followers on Instagram. 600 followers, earned a Cadillac, middle of the compensation plan. So you really don't need a lot of followers. It's just about the way you work the business and the connections that you make, like the real connections that you make, and then you can get there.
I love that. I love all the little compensations that we have. They're not little.
No.
They're huge. I mean, having a paid off car every month, having the time freedom, the flexibility, the increase of income, everything that comes with it, just for working your business.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And growing as a person, growing as human being. Like it's just mind-blowing what this business could do for you in so many areas of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, girls. Last but not least, I have this question for you. What would be one piece of advice that you would give someone either thinking of starting this business or starting this business like right now?
Give it a year. You have to give it time. If I had $1 for every time somebody signed up and then quit within 2 months, I'd have $1 trillion. That's an exaggeration. But so often people start and they're not instantly making thousands of dollars and driving a Cadillac, and then they quit. And they really didn't give it a full chance. So give it a year, you work with it, show up every day, come to the trainings, really try. And if after a year you don't love it, you know you tried.
Right.
But if you quit before that, you can't
There's
look
no
back
excuse.
and say you tried,
Yeah.
right? So that's my best piece of advice is if you're thinking about it, or even if you've recently started, commit to it for a year. And then, and if you're gonna do it for that's amazing.
Yeah. So that, and then I would say once you do start, be chill about it, be excited about
Right.
it. Like, this is something new, it's something exciting, it's a new job.
Right.
I always tell my girls, like, if you started something new, like, you usually be excited about it and tell everybody. It's the same thing with this. Let your excitement show through to your friends and family. Like, bring them along on this journey with you. Like, you just started something new. Like, this is a milestone in your life. Like, you have goals, you're wanting this to succeed. You need the support system from your friends and family. And the way you present this to them, the way you start off that with them is going to be the way that they're going to perceive it. So make it positive, have good vibes, good energy, make people excited with you, confident about what you're telling them, share the product, love the product. You have to be a product of the product. So if you come at this with like a good attitude, good vibes, good energy, your friends and family can be nothing but happy for you. And if you have some people, like, they're gonna see you carry this through if you stick it out for a year.
Exactly.
They're gonna see how much you love it, and eventually everybody is gonna come around.
Do you guys have any other final words you would like to share?
I had this feeling that I really wanted to do. And at the time I lived with my parents, and my mom had like a list of reasons why it wasn't gonna go well, why I shouldn't do it, whole thing. I had done direct sales before, and I waited for a couple months because she like got in my head. But I kept like tugging. And I'm so glad that I tried it. Just try it, really give it a year, try it. If it's tugging at you, give it a year and just see. I'm so glad that I tried it. If I had listened to the people around me, I wouldn't have.
Right.
But doing it, I ended up changing like my entire life course.
I cannot believe that. I mean, you're on your early 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You too.
No, I'm not. Taylor's old. I'm 30. But it's great when people can start so young. It really doesn't matter like what age you are.
Yeah.
To like start this. I'm older than Chloe. Like, it does not matter. We have women on our team who are in their 40s, 50s, like, and up. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If you have the desire to start something new, it's not too late to start something new. It's never too late.
Never.
Like, just jumping into it.
It's for everybody. And it's amazing. So great to have you girls.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for coming and for sharing all the knowledge with all of us, because it was very, very helpful. So thank you.
Thank you.